This Sony A7R vs A7R guide is exactly what you need if you're struggling to choose between these two cameras. The Sony A7R is one of Sony's flagship mirrorless cameras, offering an incredible all-round package: lightning-fast autofocus, good full-frame resolution, 4K/30 video, dual card slots, and more. But while the Sony A7R is the newer, faster mirrorless snapper, the A7R will impress a lot of photographers with its huge megapixel count, especially those looking to do commercial, landscape, or other high-resolution shooting. So which option is best? Watch the video to find out. Key differences: size and weight. Looking at the Sony A7R next to the Sony A7R, you'll be hard-pressed to notice any differences. In fact, the bodies are essentially identical, sporting similar weights: 650 g, 23 Oz on the Sony A7R versus 657 g, 23.2 Oz on the Sony A7R. In other words, these two cameras are relatively compact and lightweight compared to full-frame DSLRs, but aren't especially small compared to their mirrorless brethren. That said, the form factor is pretty nice. Either camera will allow you to shave off several hundred grams from your kit if you're frequently hiking or traveling, and you won't feel as uncomfortable carrying your camera around on street or casual outings. The Sony Alpha cameras all have near-identical bodies. You'll see the similarities in the A7R vs A7R too. Build and handling. Given the basically identical camera bodies, you're not going to notice much in terms of build and handling differences. The A7R and the A7R are relatively compact cameras without being too small, so they feel nice in your hands and don't start to get uncomfortable after a couple of hours of shooting. The slimmer bodies compared to a DSLR are useful for traveling, hiking, and casual shooting, as mentioned in the previous section, but this does come with a slight handling drawback. The front grips, while decent, just don't give you as much purchase as a DSLR grip. So if you're a person with bigger hands and a history of using big lenses, the body size of these cameras may take a bit of getting used to. Rear LCD and F. While the A7R offers a perfectly adequate electronic viewfinder and display, it just can't compete with the A7R, which is stacked with higher-end features for a top-notch shooting experience. Using the Sony A7R, you'll find the electronic viewfinder to be adequate. It sports a 2.36 m, 0.78x OLED EVF, one that looks crisp and will serve you decently in the field. Autofocus. The Sony A7R offers excellent autofocus. It packs a hybrid AF system with 399 phase detection points, 425 contrast detection points, and real-time IAF for tracking eyes as your subject moves throughout the frame. I wouldn't hesitate to use the A7R for sports photography, though it's not as nimble as other models, the Anim and Anim 2, for starters, but also the A7R, which offers ridiculously good tracking capabilities, especially for the price. In fact, the A7R is simply exceptional when it comes to autofocus. Drive, FPS. When it comes to continuous shooting speeds, neither the A7R or the A7R can compete with the true action cameras out there. But the A7R and the A7R offer 10 FPS, even with continuous autofocus, and that's pretty darn impressive. It's especially impressive when you consider that the A7R packs a 40+ megapixel sensor, because 10 FPS at 40 megapixels per shot is a lot to capture. In other words, you'll do just fine with either of these models for genre like street photography or wedding photography, where higher burst modes are very useful, but not required. Image quality. By the way, if you're looking to maximize detail, the A7R also offers an interesting pixel shift feature. Pixel shift works by taking 4 images and combining them together for enhanced detail, and though your final file remains at a 42MP resolution, pixel shift ensures crisper shots than 4 images, taken individually, could provide. The A7R also offers nearly 15 stops of dynamic range, which is perfect for landscape photographers in particular, and despite the huge megapixel count, low light performance isn't shabby. You can expect clean images up to around ISO 1600, which is when noise starts to become present. Battery performance on both the A7R and the A7R is unusually good as far as mirrorless camera models go. Instead of the standard 300 shots per charge, you get 650 shots with the LCD on the A7R, which drops to 530 shots when using the EVF on the A7R. Battery life is another step up: 710 shots via the LCD and 610 shots with the EVF. While neither offer stellar battery performance, both cameras should save you having to buy handfuls of extra batteries. which is always a bonus. Plus, it can be annoying to change batteries in the field, especially when shooting in cold weather. So the more shots, the better. Video. The A7R Roman 3 wasn't really designed as a video camera, yet it'll still give hobbyists and even pro video shooters everything they need, packing 4K resolution at up to 30 and 1008 resolution at up to 120 for great slow motion action sequences. Unfortunately, the A7R Roman 3 does use pixel binning when working with the full width of the sensor in 4K. While you'll still get usable video, your recordings just won't look as good compared to downsampled footage. Price. The Sony A7R Roman 3 is a surprisingly inexpensive mirrorless camera, especially when you consider everything it brings to the table. You can pick it up for around this $2,000, and with it comes 24MP resolution, dual card slots, image stabilization, a tilting touchscreen, an insane number of AF points, great low-light performance, great video performance, and more. The A7R Roman 3, on the other hand, is a bit pricier at around US $2,800. Of course, you get a lot for your money, but you should ask yourself, is the extra $800 worth it? Final words. The Sony A7R Roman 3 is a powerhouse of a mirrorless camera. It offers a huge megapixel count, along with a landslide of additional features, including stellar video performance, great dynamic range, a huge number of AF points, and smooth handling. But the A7R Roman 3 matches or outperforms it in almost every way, save for resolution, and it does it all for a significantly lower price point. So when it comes down to these two cameras, here's what I'd recommend. If you absolutely need the resolution of the A7R Roman 3, get it. Otherwise, go for the A7R Roman 3. You won't be disappointed. And that's all for today. We hope the information provided in this video has helped you make a wise and informed decision.